everyone, welcome. So happy you made it to the third day, and this challenge of the day is going to be hip opening. Super important to know how to open your hip with safety as well. We get a lot of the times very deep stretches in all kind of methods, and also in Pilates. I want you to know how to do it in the right way. We're going to gradually open our hip, and just know that everyone has a different range to open their hip. So if you can't exactly do what I'm demonstrating, that's fine. It takes time and practice. I'm also going to show you some ways to modify what I'm doing. So let's just get started. Bring yourself a nice mat, maybe a glass of water nearby, comfortable space, and tell everyone to just walk away and give you that time for yourself. Something around 20 minutes. Let's start. So we're going to start on our back. Very easy, simple. You can do it always hip rolls. Each hand on each knee, and you're just rolling the hips. You also get a nice massage for the lower back. And other side. Good. We're going to take our cross body stretch. Lengthen your left leg down on the mat. Take your right knee with your left hand, the opposite hand, and stretch it across. Take at least 2 to 3 full breaths here. Open the right side of the body. Try to keep your shoulder blades down on the mat. Beautiful day here in Ewingsdale. You might be able to hear the birds. I'm changing side. The right leg is down, left leg coming across. Try to keep your chest open and both shoulder blades nice and open down on the mat. One more deep breath. Good. Come back to center. All right, now we're moving to our single leg circle. Press your left heel down into the mat. Float the right leg up. Doesn't have to be completely straight. If you feel it a little bit gripping on the hip flexors, you can bring the leg down to 45 degrees. Point your leg. Really try to reach the leg out of the joint. Make it super long. Hands are a little bit wider than the mat. Chest is open. We're going to start taking the right leg across the left. Little circle and back to center. As we take our circles here, we're trying to keep the rest of the body nice and still. So we're moving only the hip bone, but the pelvis stays really heavy on the mat. This is our hip to pelvis disassociation. And you might find that your hips are dancing from side to side in the beginning. That's fine. That's normal. Just take your circle a little bit slower and really try to focus in moving that hip bone and keeping the rest of the body nice and still. Press the arms down, press the left leg down, and then reverse it. Open your right leg to the right. The leg should start to feel really heavy by now. Yeah, keep making it super long. Reach it up to the ceiling. 2 more circles. If you feel in control, if you got this, you might want to start taking your circles bigger, just for a little bit of a challenge. Good. Bend the legs, slide it down. Feel the length of your right leg. You can even take a look and just notice that the right leg is a little bit longer than your left. Now press the right leg down, float the left leg up. Before we start, we really want to lengthen the leg. Think about lengthening the leg behind the knee. Make it super long, then take it across the right. Smooth little circles. It's not about the range of the circle here. It's about how much you can keep your pelvis nice and still. Just breathe to it. Think about releasing any tension in the shoulder and neck area. Maybe take a little cheeky smile. One more, and we're going to reverse it. Changing the direction of the circle. Keep lengthening the leg behind the knee. Make it super, super long. One more. Bend your leg and place it down. Give both the legs a bit of a shake. Good. We're going to bend both legs, hip distance apart. press your left leg down, spread your toes, and then open the right leg down, keeping the left leg really, really still. And then close it back up. We open and close. Asymmetric work. So we only open the right hip here. Yeah, and keeping the left hip nice and still. It is going to shake a little bit in the beginning. Take it a little bit slower. Work with a lot of focus. You might not be able to bring the leg all the way down. Halfway down is challenging as it is. Yeah, the challenge here is to keep the body really still. Yes, separation of movement. We work on it a lot in Pilates. We want to move a certain area of the body and keeping the other part of the body nice and still. And it's a lot of challenge, more than you think until you practice it. Keep the right leg still. Press all of your toes down to the mat and open the left. First few repetitions, the right leg you want to move and shake. Yeah, try to take smaller opening with the left hip. Halfway down is a lot of challenge as it is. You don't have to bring your hip all the way down to the mat. Good. Core is working here. It's giving us this support. So think about pulling the belly button towards the spine. Wrap your abdominals to the center of the body. You can imagine a line going through the center of the body and you're wrapping everything to that line. So you have this sensation of wrapping from the sides to the middle. One more. And we're just going to go into a nice butterfly stretch. Bring both feet together and drop your knees aside. Yeah, you can stay here if that gives you a nice hip opening, and you might want a butterfly here or rock from side to side. Just make it feel nice. Good. So you have external rotation of the hip. All right, from here, we're going to go into our pelvic curl. We're going to open the front of the hip a little bit more. So that's going to involve a bit of spine articulation, similar to what we did in our first day of the challenge. So keep your feet hip distance apart. Take a deep inhale. And on your exhale, tuck the tail, start rounding the spine, lift up into your bridge position. You want to have one long line from your knee to your hip to your shoulder. Squeeze the bum a little bit more. Think about opening the front of the hip a little bit more. Yeah, you still keep your tail really tucked, hugging the ribs to center. Palms are down alongside the body. We're going to take little pulses up. Open the front of the hip. Think about the skin on your knee reaching forward. Shoot that energy forward. Open your front. Little ones. It's almost like we don't want to reach down at all. We only reach up. Squeeze and lift. A lot of work for our glutes, for our bum cheeks. Staying here for 5 more. Notice here that the knees are not dropping to the side and you're not leaning on the outer arch of your foot. Press the inner arch of your feet as well. Last one, we stay up there. Static work. We're just staying up there. Making sure we didn't drop one hip down. Both hips are at the same level. Squeeze the bum a little bit more. Hug your ribs in. One more deep breath. Good. On your next exhale, you're going to melt down from your chest, upper back, back of the ribs, middle back. Stretch your lower back in your tail. Bring your knees to chest. Hug them a little bit. Roll from side to side. Excellent. Good. We're going to bring both legs up to the ceiling. So we're going to bring one by one. Yeah, bend the right knee, bring it up, bend the left knee, bring the leg up, going into our frogs. In our frogs, we have our heels together and our toes apart. We're creating a Pilates V. Yeah, this Pilates V is creating an external rotation of our hip. So think about your inner thighs wrapping all the way out to your sitting bones. feel that spiraling motion and zip your inner thighs together. We start with the legs in 45 degrees angle. Now with the exhale, bend your heels towards your bottom, bring your knees really, really wide, and then stretch the legs long. Bend and stretch. Each time we stretch the legs, we're trying to connect the inner thighs together. And maintain that knees to the side, so you keep that external rotation of your hip. If you can lengthen your legs all the way, that's fine. Just think about lengthening behind the knee. Think about activating the legs to your longest point. Doesn't mean they're all the way straight. This is your frogs. Keep squeezing the heels together. Excellent. Not here for long. 6 more. If you feel your lower back too much, just bring the legs a little bit higher. The lower the legs are, the more work for the tummy. If you don't have this strength by now, it's just going to go to the lower back. Yeah, so I prefer you bring the legs a little bit higher. Last one. And hug your knees to chest. Rock a little bit from side to side. Release your lower back. Good. Hold behind your hips and bring yourself up into a seated position. Yeah, or with every way you'd like, just coming up into a seated position. Beautiful. All right. Again, option to sit in a cross-legged position or in a Z. We're going to come into our forward bend. We're going to bend, and it might feel a little bit grippy on your hip flexors, so take it really, really slow. Starting by reaching the hands forward. Yeah. And you might stay here for today. It might be enough. Let the breath guide you. You might be able to lower a little bit more each time. Yeah, wherever you can reach, just stay there. Keep breathing. We're going to take 2 more full breaths. With the inhale, think about lengthening the spine. And with the exhale, you might fold forward a little bit more. Try to keep your sitting bones down on the mat. And on your next inhale, walk yourself all the way up into a seated position. Excellent. We're going to finish with an inward rotation of our hips. Yep. We're going to take one leg, bring it down. Heels will be as close as you can towards your bottom. And now we're going to start with one leg, just trying to feel comfortable here. Take your flesh back, sit all on your sitting bones. Just feel that hip bone rotating in. Taking a deep breath here. Good. Changing side. Left leg behind. Try to bring the heel as close as you can towards your bottom. And we still want to sit tall on our sitting bones. Take the flesh back, lengthen the spine. One more deep breath. And we're going to go and try to take both legs at the same time. Yeah, starting with the right leg back. And then try to add the left. If it's really gripping on your hip flexors, if it's not for you today, just take another round, the right leg and then the left. Trying to feel comfortable in this position might feel like a challenge. Just try to breathe to it. Find your sitting bones and place the chest just above the sitting bones. Head is nice and long. Shoulders are open. One more deep breath. Excellent. Good. Bring your legs forward. Stretch them. Give them a bit of a shake. Excellent. Good. We're going to finish by lying down on our mat. Take your hands forward. Roll down vertebra by vertebra. Excellent. Good. You're going to take one knee in, stretch it all the way towards your chest. Change side. Yeah, right leg again. Let's lift up into our chest lift. Try to bring the chest as close as you can towards your knee. And change side. Lift a little bit higher. And then release all the way down. Shake the legs from side to side. Open the hands. Take a deep breath. And release it all out. Give yourself a nice massage. Your hip flexors were working hard. You might feel a little bit more loose, longer. We pulled our hip bone out of the socket. Might give ourselves 1 more centimeter of length in our body. Just try to enjoy the sensation. 1 more deep inhale. Breathe to the side of your ribs. And with the exhale, hug your ribs in. 1 more like this. And we are all done for today. Thank you guys. See you next time. Mwah.